In this video, we are going to talk about pen tool. There are many ways in Photoshop we use pen tool, but the very basic purpose of using pen tool is to create or achieve a very precise selection of object or subject we are working on. So in this example, say hello to my friend Jim. This is Jim here standing on the left, and Jim wants to go from point A to point B. And our job here is to tell Jim how to get from point A to point B. Simple, by click once and second click, and you tell Jim, okay, Jim, go from A to B. And this blue line here is your path. Simple, no complicated. Now you have created a path. But this is an open path. You need to close the path. So whenever we create any path, we need to close it. So this is open path. Now you close the path simply by clicking the point you started the path from, by telling Jim go back to point A. Now this path has been complete. You can't see it because the line are top of each other. Let me show you another example where you can see those lines separately and how we create the path. Okay, in this example we tell Jim, go from point A to B to C and to back to point A. Now in this case, you see this triangle you created. This is your path, and that's it. That's how you create path. Now this is a simple path with simply 1 2 3 4 clicks, and you have created your path. The next step is curved path. So creating a straight line path is easy, but when it's come to curved path or paths where it's bending, you need to know a couple of things. So basically what happens, this is point A and this is point B, this is point C, and this is back to point A. So this is a straight path. Now we are going to create a curved path. So how we create a curved path, I'm going to press Ctrl Z one by one to go back to our point A. So this is point A and this is point B. Now I'm holding my mouse left button, and before I let it go, I'm trying to drag this button so you can see a rounded bend is being created. Now you let the mouse go. Okay, so now you see you have created a rounded curve path. So this is a simple curved path. This is your point A or B, and this is still an open path. We need to close it. And you see these two handles. These handles are there to edit or amend your path. So there are two handles there. This handle, the one on the top, the one on the left side of the point B, is there to handle this path. If you wanna create any bend or if you wanna edit this path, what you need to do, you go to pen tool, press and hold, and then you need to select this tool in order to edit the bend. Does it make sense? Okay, so once you're done, you need to go back and select the pen tool again. Now what does the second handle do? So this handle basically influence your upcoming point by, so you see this angle. When I'm going to click on the third point in the middle, you see last time it was a straight line, but this time it won't be a straight line. Let me show you by clicking on the screen. You see that? Now this time when I click, I see there's a bend coming up. Last time it was straight, but this time it's bend coming up. Now this bend is coming because of this handle. If you want to edit this part of the curve, you know what you need to do. You go there and simply select the convert point tool. Now what this tool does, it simply helps you manipulate or edit the path by simply clicking this handle, and that's it. That's how you amend or bend or edit the path. So now you see our path is still open. We need to close it. So how we close it? Simply, now you see your path is selected. This blue dot is telling you this path is selected, and the next point is going to initiate from here. So wherever you're gonna click next, this point will be connected with this blue line or blue dot. So I'm going to close this path by clicking. If I click, you see the circle next to the pen tool. That's mean the path is closing. Now you see the path has been closed. Now this is another simple path with two bended or curved path lines and one straight line. So if you wanna edit any of this path, you know what you need to do. You simply go to pen tool and then pick this convert point tool. But there is a quick tip in order to avoid going back and forward again and again this panel to pick up the tool. Press Simply press Ctrl or Command on your keyboard and simply click on the path. Once you click on the path, you see the handle come back again. So whichever parts of the path you click, those handle will appear. If I click on this path, this handle is appearing up. If I click on this path, these handle will appear up if there were any. So let's suppose if I wanna edit this curve or this path, I'm going to press Ctrl or Command key from the keyboard and simply click on it. And now you see the handle is there. And now if you want to move this handle, you are going to press Alt or Option key from your keyboard and you can move the path according to your wish. You can also add points within your path by clicking on the path. You see, sooner you go to the path, you see the plus sign next to your pen. So if you click on this path now, it will create another point within the path. Same thing goes here. If you want to create another point, you can click on the path and you create another point. Similarly, if you want to delete or subtract the path or any point, simply go to the point and click on it once. You see the minus sign appear next to the pen. That means you are going to subtract this point from the path. So I'm going to click once and you see that point is gone. So the point is gone, the path will be bended according to this point and this point. Now if you want to change the path, again press the Alt key and change the path. Make sense? Okay. Now I'm going to press escape to get rid from this path. Okay, so now I'm going to create another path by simply clicking on point A, and now I'm clicking and holding and dragging the mouse, and now you see the path is created. You see, once you are happy with the path, before you let the mouse go, press the Alt and Option key on your keyboard. So what it does, I'm going to press the Alt or Option key now. Now I have pressed the Alt key from my keyboard and you see the path. Now you see one of the handle is moving, which is influencing the upcoming point. You see, now you can set your angle by simply pressing the Alt key from the keyboard and you can tell wherever you wanna put the next point. You can define the angle here where your next point gonna be. Okay, now let's suppose I have set the point there. Now this is just a handle. Now I'm going to create the third point. This is one, this is second, and now let's suppose I want to create the third point here. Now you see what happening here. You see this bend is influenced by this handle. So before we create this point, we have told Photoshop the angle should be in that direction, goes all the way to point C, the third point. And now this is our fourth point. I'm clicking, holding and dragging the left mouse button. And before, when I'm happy with the selection, I either let it go and then press the Alt key and change it again, or while I'm making this point, when I'm happy with the circle, when I'm happy with this bend, I'm going to create that again. When I'm happy with this bend, I before I let the mouse go, I simply press the Alt key to change the angle of the next point or upcoming point without disturbing this curve. So basically what happens when you move, and if you don't press Alt and you try to move this handle to in order to define the next upcoming point, you see sooner you change the angle, the previous path will be changed. So once you are happy with your path, then you press the Alt key and then you press the handle in a direction where you want to create the next path. And once you're happy with it, simply go back to your first point and close the path. I hope it making sense. Now what we're going to do now, I'm going to create few basic steps or few basics path for the practice purposes so you get the point. What is happening on this side of the layers, you don't need to pay attention, please focus on this page. So this is our point here, is understand the path. So in this example we have a rectangular box here, so I'm going to create a path of this box or whatever shape is on the screen. So in this case I have this rectangular shape on my screen. I'm going to create a path by, now this is a straight lines and this is a simple and easy path. So by clicking point 1 and the next point and the third point and the fourth point, and that's it, and close the path. When you are about to close the path, just pay attention to the mouse next to the pen tool. There's a circle there, that's mean you are about to close the path. You see now your path has been closed. If you pay attention here, you see the path lines are not straight. If you wanna make the line straight, there's another key. By let's create another path by simply pressing escape and let the path go. Now we are going to create another path, but with this time we are going to create with the straight lines. So click once, and before you click the second point, simply press the shift key from your keyboard and now click. Now wherever you click, now your click will be straight. You see that? Now this is our third point, this is our fourth point, and this is our fifth point. In this example, there is almost straight lines, but slightly complicated than the previous example. So what we're going to do, we are going to zoom in a bit so we can see this arrow more clearly. Now I'm going to start the path from one side. So let's suppose I'm going to start the path from here, and line should be straight. There's a straight line, and I'm going to press shift from the keyboard and then another shift. The shift work with the 45-degree angles. So another shift. Now I'm holding the shift key while I'm making these path, because okay, then this is not going to work. So this time I'm going to release the shift button, and that's it. Now I'm pressing the shift button again in order to create the straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line, and straight line. Even though the path is not perfect here, i'm going to I'm going to sort this out. But before, I want to show you something. You see, sooner I close the path, all my points are blue. That's mean all the point has been selected. If you want to move the whole path, simply press the control key or command key from your keyboard, and you see the mouse is changed. Now it's white mouse, white cursor, arrow. It tells you how to move the path. So now simply click and move your path wherever you want it to be. So now you know how to move the path. So far we know how to create a path, how to add points, how to subtract points, how to edit points, and how to set the direction of the handles for upcoming points. Okay, now I'm going to sort out this problem here. So by simply clicking and zooming in, so now if I move this point here, you see all the points are blue. So that's mean all the points are selected, and that's mean if I move this point, all these points will be moved along. Let me show you how. Now I'm going to move it. You see, so when I move it, all the points are moving. So how I'm going to sort this problem out? I'm going to press Ctrl or Command Z from the keyboard to get back to previous step. And now there's one way. Either I click pressing the hold key or command key and I click outside. Now all those blue points has been disappeared. Now the path is no longer selected. Now if I wanna move this point, I will press Control key. Either I click on it, or by pressing the Control key, I click and drag. That's it. Now you see now this point has been selected. I can move it by simply keep pressing the control key and move the path point. Zoom out, come back here, press the control key or simply click on it and move the path. Same thing goes here. Same thing goes there. Okay, a little bit here, no problem. I simply click and aim. Sorry, now you see the selection is gone. Click on the path and move it a bit along. Alright, again it was a easy path. It was a straight line but slightly complicated than the rectangular one. But now we know how to deal with situation like this where the lines are straight. Now let's move to third example. Now in this example you see the corners are rounded. Now this is a slightly advanced option than these two because there here the lines were straight. These here and here the lines were straight, but in this case the lines are bended or rounded. So I'm going to press escape. Now I'm going to select, or I'm going to make a path around this object. So slightly zoom in, click on one point, and now if I click here and make an point and click and drag, you see what happens. Now this bend is fine, you see that. Now this bend is fine, but here I'm losing the details. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the first point there, and then I make the second point here, slightly take the handle out where our next point is going to be. Now I'm going to create the third point, and you see what is happening now. You see this little point here, this basically tells a Photoshop or sets the angle of our upcoming point. Zoom in out. Fourth point, you see that. I don't know if you want to move the points, you know what you need to do, simply press the control key and then you can move along. And I'm going to create another. I hope it's falling, I hope it's making sense. Another, you see here I'm having a problem. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to press Alt and Option key from my keyboard. I'm taking this curve slightly back, zooming in. So if I press Control and move this point, it will influence on the both side. And if I press Alt and Option key and move this handle, it will only affect the upcoming angle. Let me show you how. Now I'm pressing Control key and see what happens. You see now it is now it working on both way. It working on the upcoming angle from this side of the handle, and it also working on the other side of the handle. Let me press Control Z. Okay, and same thing goes here. If you press Control and move this point, it will work the other way around too. And if you only want to work on one side of the handle without affecting the other side, simply press the Alt key and then move the handles wherever you want to move. I hope it's making sense. Now I'm going to make another point here. There's another point I would like to make here is the less points you create in your path, the better your path will be. But again, you are in learning process. You do not worry about the more points or less points. Your focus here should be how to make the path, or how to edit, or how to create the path, so you know how basically path works. So I'm going to press Alt and moving along. That is fine. I'm still pressing Alt key. So there we go. Now I'm going to create the next point here, but we are telling Photoshop our next angle is in that direction. So what happens if you click here and make the next point? You see what's gonna happen? I'm sure you guessed it. You see now the line or path is going that way and come back to the point. It should be straight up. So before I make this path, I'm going to press Alt key and tell this handle to go upwards, because in that direction that's where my next point is going to be. So here I click once, slightly take the handles out and make another point. There we go. Now this is where I am finishing. Now this is where I am making a sharp edge. So when you need a sharp edge, you do not need to click and drag the point. So if you are on the sharp edge, simply click once. You see, I'm going to create the next point here, and here I don't want to create any sharp edge, so that's why I slightly take the handle out to create that kind of angle, to let Photoshop know I'm going to make the next point in that direction, or our next point gonna be in that direction, and the next point I'm going to make here. So in this case I have these two handles, I can bend them according to my design. That's it. Click. There's another tool here if you are new or if you are learning this tool first time. But if you want to use the rubber band, simply click on it, and that's it. Now what happens, once you start your path, you will see a line there. These rubber bands mean it predicts your selection. If you make any selection, it kind of give you an idea where the next selection going to be. Or let me show you how it works. Now if I move my mouse around, you can see how this point or this handle is setting up my angle for the next click. So now I'm clicking like this, holding and moving my mouse across while pressing the shift key in order to keep those handle aligned straight, and you see the curve is nicely achieved. Now press the space bar and move along. This is another point. I hope it making sense. And before I let the handle go, I simply press the Alt key to bring it back, so it tells, so it defines the next curve. Now you see how this path is working. For some reason, what happens once you click outside, sometime you see you are disconnected with your path. You are no longer on the path, and path is still open, but it's not complete. So what's the best way to do it? Simply select the pen tool, press the control key, click on the path, and then path will be activated again. Now you can start from the path where you left, and sooner you come back to the point, you pay attention to the sign appearing next to the pen tool, which means now you are connecting, now you are about to connect with the path, and sooner you clicks on, you see the rubber band comes on. Okay, let me finish this so we can move on to another example. And that's it. Now our path is closed. I hope it making sense now, and don't worry if something's not working out. If you have any question, just drop the line into the comment section. I will do my level best to answer all of these, but keep practicing. That's the only key. And once you get hold of this selection, once you become professional, or once you become familiar with this selection tool, I'm telling you, you are going to fall in love with this tool. And another interesting point this tool is, once you understand how path works, this is the same path you are going to see in other Adobe softwares like Illustrator, like Premiere Pro, and all those. And whichever program you're working in, you are going to have a good idea how this path works. Okay, once you are happy with the path and when your path is complete, the next very important step is save the path. So simply go to path and click save path. Now you tell Photoshop save this path, and we call it arrow. Okay, and press OK.